Okay, so the first vlog of today's topic I did at Vergelegen Winery Estate, and it was quite a view, but the wind was also quite blowing there. So I wanted to do the English one there as well, but unfortunately the wind didn't give us the chance to do it. So I realized that if I want to do it in English, I need to do it here as well, or here at home. But today's topic, I think, is so important because it's something that I struggled with for a long time. And I think that it is such an important thing in your life. And that is to know when is God speaking and when is it your own voice speaking. And in Afrikaans, we have a saying like, jy kan lekker harregat wees. You know, your way. Now, I'm going to read off my notes because my memory isn't what it needs to be or where it has been, but we'll get there. The doctor said, don't worry, we'll get there. So I just made a few notes of today's topic to make sure that I don't miss anything. Now, I was released from the hospital on the Saturday. On the Saturday evening. It's now today exactly a month after I've been admitted at hospital. It's crazy how this month it came and it went. Sorry. And I just realized that being at the hospital, even the doctors didn't know that I was going to be in hospital for that long. And so I made an appointment to go visit the school and do a presentation the next week. And I think that's also one of the reasons why I am where I am today and why I need this total, like what do you call it in English? Handbrake. This total just stop in my life. Stop, calm down, think, and be still. But anyway, I had this meeting at a school, and the meeting should have been the previous week, but it was obviously then cancelled because I was still in hospital. And then that Wednesday evening, the meeting was supposed to be on Thursday. I mean, it was such a crazy week. Everyone was so busy with a lot of things that no one think about cancelling. But that Wednesday evening, my husband said we're going to cancel this session with the school. And one of my friends came, and I didn't even remember that she came to visit until she spoke to me 3 weeks later. But we'll get to that. Now, one of the things that's very important to me when I do a session or when I do a course is always to be professional. And for me to do that presentation while feeling the way I felt, while feeling unstable, while my mind is in such a blur. It's just really crazy. But then at 5 o'clock that morning, and I was sleeping a lot better. But then at 5 o'clock that morning, I believe God woke me up and told me that I should do that session. And I was like, God, how is this possible? It's like impossible. It's really, really impossible. But I said, okay, I told you that I'm going to be obedient, so I will continue doing this session. And I told my husband, and my husband was just like, I understand the whole thing about being obedient, but I mean, really, this is crazy. You look like, even walking to the bathroom is like a mission. How are you going to do the session? It's crazy. And then he said he's not going to take it on him. He's not going to take me to Gordon's Bay. The doctor doesn't even know about it. And if he knew about it, he will definitely tell me there's no way. So then, just how I am, I phoned a friend. And I didn't even know this friend that long. It's also a mom from Gordon's Bay. And I asked her, will she please take me to this school? I need to go to the school, to this meeting. She knew that I was in hospital, but she didn't saw me at all. And she said yes, because everything that day just worked out that she could take me. Because things that should have happened didn't. Anyway. And then while busy, finishing up, and my husband is just the whole time, I'm just so against this, but he had a crazy day at work. So working from home, things are just crazy, stuff happening. So he can't really focus on me, which I also think, happened for a reason. And one of my, while busy with the makeup and the hair and everything, one of our friends that's part of our life group came to visit, or just popping by. And she helped me with a few curls, and she's like, okay, I don't know why and how you're going to do this, but I'm going to pray for you because I think you really need this. And then my friend came from Gordon's Bay that told me that she will take me to do this session. And she's one of those people that she doesn't talk a lot, but how she feels is like written on her face. And I could see she was like, am I going to actually do this crazy thing? But she didn't say anything. And I was just like, I'm just so glad that someone will take me. I got into a car. I was so tired by that time because with the makeup and just, simple things, just really... It's not, as I said before, it's not being tired. It's like totally drained, fatigue. And I just pulled the lever just to lay down in a car. I've sent the documents that needed to be printed at Postnet. I couldn't even walk inside to get it. I was so tired. I asked her to do it, and I could see she's like, how are you going to do a 2-hour session if you can't even go and get papers? But okay. So then she went and got it. And she walked back. Took me to the school, and I told her. And that morning I didn't even take my pain pills, because then all the medication and with the pain pills as well, I'm just so drowsy. So I was like, I'd rather have pain than, be unstable. But I told her, just please, if you walk me to the classroom, just do it subtle, just hold on to my arm, but, I don't want to look like I'm drunk, although that's how I feel. And then when I got to the classroom, I asked one of the teachers just to take a few photos and just one short video, because we're part of a project. That's one of the requirements we have, is the photos with the documents and everything. And she did a good job. I think she took about 6 videos and a lot of photos. But even though my mind or my memory was, even now, isn't what it needs to be, I just remembered the whole presentation. Everything just went well. I made jokes. As soon as I started talking to the kids, it's like I've just became, it's like you're becoming someone else. And by that I mean, that is just God using me as a tool and just working through me. And I did that 2-hour session. And after that, I need to quickly I had to chat to the teachers. And when I was finished, my friend came and she took me to the car, and I was just when that happened, I just was so nauseous and I was just feeling so bad. And I told her that I'm just going to lay down. Sorry, I'm not going to talk. I'm just so nauseous and I just feel so sick and tired and everything, I'm at a bad space. And when I got home, my kids, they had to take off my shoes. They had to made me toast with Marmite. They actually needed to feed me. And I slept until 7 o'clock that night. And then the next day, I had to do the admin. And I was going through the papers because the kids need to fill in a form, which is, most of the form is just a yes and no and how much, and the way it was explained. Do you totally understand? Do you understand some of the information or nothing at all, whatever? And did you enjoy it and what? And then there was about 2 lines where they can leave a comment. And I think it was almost about 30 kids that attended that session. And it was like the last day of school. And I thought no one is going to say anything. But when I read the comments and I needed to, type it in, I was just getting so emotional. Because the kids, they said the presentation was fantastic. I enjoyed so much. This is so inspirational. I'm so glad I came today. I was totally blown away. Now, even up until now, I don't know why God asked us things and why He woke me up that morning and asked me to go against my husband's will. and most probably, no, not most, and definitely past, what the doctor would have said. Maybe it was someone that needed to hear something that day that could save their life, that gave them hope. That whatever the reason, maybe God just wanted to test me to see whether I am obedient, even though I thought, this is like crazy. I couldn't do it. And then on Monday night, now this past Monday night, so that was after that session, it was a week and a bit more than a week later. It's a friend of mine, and she's, also run a busy life, and she came a bit late for the session we had. We're doing the book Girls with Swords, and so we spoke afterwards, and she just came to me and said, Crisanda, I saw this video and I was just like totally blown away, because I was there on Wednesday evening, and I'm like, I thought you were there, but I wasn't sure. And she said, you really looked like I was so concerned, not even just presenting, but just concerned about, are you going to be overall be okay? And then she told me that one of the reasons, and when she saw that video, it was like, I mean, if she didn't knew me, she thought, and if she didn't saw me that night, she would have thought that, me just saying that I feel the way I feel, it's just attention seeking. It's crazy, because it is definitely and was definitely not the same person. But she also told me that the reason why she started coming to the sessions is because she knows that she's an introvert, but God wants to use her. But there's things that she thinks that she won't be able to do. And when she saw that video, it gave her so much hope, because she was like, if Crisanda is as sick as that, and I mean, it is just God, holding her on her hands upright, and let her do this presentation as like nothing's wrong, making jokes, acting, do the whole thing. And it gave her so much hope. And then I was like, this is just so awesome. And then obviously I had to phone this friend of mine that took me to Gordons Bay. And I asked her, and I said, I know we're not from the same church and everything, so I don't know where you are spiritually, but what made you go against my husband's will and took me to Gordons Bay, to this school, to do this presentation? And the only thing I told you that, God told me to go, and that was enough for you. And then she just said, you know what? I was very concerned, but somehow I had I also had peace that you will be okay and that He will work through you. So just to conclude, sometimes we think that we can't do things, and sometimes we can't. But sometimes we just might surprise ourselves. But the biggest thing I want from you to take away from today's vlog is to spend enough time, and this is where I know I need to grow like 100 times from where I am now. Be still. Spend more time with God to make sure that I can hear His voice even clearer. Because God speaks to us. We're just the ones not always listening. So, and there's a very fine line between your voice and God's voice. If you like the Afrikaans word lekker hardkoppig. And because if I've set my mind on something, then I will do it, no matter what. So I need to make sure that I always make sure that I've heard His voice. And if I'm not sure, to have someone that can confirm, is this just me? And someone objective, is this just me, or was it God's voice? Because there's always a reason why He will ask something from you. Yes, and you don't have the view of the Vergelegen winery estate that was the Afrikaans one. But I want to challenge you. See if you can, with me, get to a point where you can be still, where you can calm down, where you can just put your mind and everything you think and wonder and stress and try to figure out, just put it all to rest. Spend time with Him and listen to His voice. And that is the example that I need to leave my kids as well.